So, hello, Aquarius, and those of you with strong Aquarian placements in your birth charts. This is Nicole Myths, Astrology and Tarot, and we are doing your 2022 forecast month by month. All of the timestamps are in the video's description below for you to easily go back to each month throughout the year. I'm using my Patch Tarot as an energy milestone card for each month, and my Chakra Wisdom Tarot for further insights and clarity into it. So, as we start the year in January, we actually have two milestone cards from the Patch Tarot. The Wizard came out with the Tower. This is the Magician card and the Tower card. And each of these cards in Patch have a duality. So we have the power of creation and revelation versus the ignorance and abuse of power. So, should you have been in your shadow, Aqua, I don't doubt that you created a very unnecessary tower moment for someone else, which in turn kind of spiraled out of control in your own reality in a way that you did not necessarily appreciate. Or you have had such a revelation that you have changed course drastically in what you're manifesting and what you're choosing to create, that you have become aware of some deep soulful insight into the divine mirror of things and have decided that, if you want to create something better, you can and you will, right? The power of creation and revelation. Once we get an idea or clarity or truth, capital T, in some way that resonates with the soul, we tend to move full speed in that direction with a positive mindset. If for whatever reason you are feeling aggressive towards someone else, you may, in your own ignorance, be abusing the power that you have to create better experiences. All right. The clarifying cards, we have Justice, the Ace of Coins in the reverse, and the Magician again. So whatever you're dealing with in January, know either way it goes, it is absolutely an experience of your own creation. Okay? It is absolutely 100% a manifestation of your own creation, whatever you're experiencing in January. You done did it, Aqua. You created it yourself. Either it being a beautiful creation coming to light or a really foul one that you wish you weren't dealing with, and life is so hard and life is so difficult and people are this and people are that, and you created it because you chose not to create better, right? Either way it goes. Justice is justice, and the truth is with a capital T is the truth with a capital T. Your energy says everything. If you are not taking care of certain energies, it is going to manifest. You know what I mean? So let's just say, for example, you've been in a stressful, shitty, miserable, even half the time relationship, and out of the blue you realize that loving them is one thing, but if you're not loving your relationship with them, then you're not loving yourself, right? That you would draw that equation. If you watch the Peas in a Pod secret code name that I had just done for the full moon in Cancer, it describes that energy pretty well. Maybe you decided to sever ties with your romantic partner, no hard feelings, I love you and I care about you, but this is not the relationship for me, blah, 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 and decided to move forward. Or another example, you had it out with a friend or completely ghosted a friend and haven't spoken to them forever, and then all of a sudden you try and reach out to them and you don't know why they're not reaching out back. Well, you created it. You know what I mean? Either way, you created it. You created the thought through revelation to leave an unhealthy relationship where in your experience you could love your experience more, love yourself more. Or you created a tower moment where you absolutely need or want someone and wish they were there and they're not. And it's because you ghosted them or ignored them for too long. So whatever your tower moment is, whether it's hitting hard or hitting with beautiful power, there is no new start right now with the Ace of Coins. Okay, so whatever you're creating, something that had a foundation laid came to a complete and screeching halt. And you created it with the Magician. So please own your shit in January, Aqua, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and know that if you want something better, you can create better. If you really miss that friend, you might straight up need to reach out to them and apologize for being cunty and not reaching out and ghosting and not being a great friend. You know what I mean? Like, it's wonderful that you were doing your own thing and you're not sorry for that, but you understand that in doing that, you were perceived as a shitty friend. Whatever it is for you, however it resonates for you. Whatever the tower moment is you're going through this month in January, that was of your own creation. Own that shit and do whatever you need to do this point moving forward to make it better, right? That's January. So for February, we have the Empress and the Star card as your milestone. Got 2 cards again. The Empress and the Star, the duality is nurture and faith versus neglect and despair. Comes out with the King of Coins, the 4 of Cups, and the Moon card. Now, if you are nurturing to yourself and others, then you also have faith that that beautiful nurturance is going out into the divine to be received as positive energy and returning back to you. Full faith that the love you put out is the love that you will also receive. When you show mercy, when you show compassion, when you show consideration, when you're calm despite having reasons not to be calm, when you hold your peace when you have reasons to lose your shit. If you can nurture and not take things personal, then you also have faith that there is healing taking place. If you are in despair over neglect, that you feel neglected, financially and materially neglected, emotionally neglected, mentally neglected, psychologically neglected, and it puts you into a state of despair, that you're having a moment that this person doesn't take care of you the way they should, or this person doesn't teach you how to do anything. They don't teach you any knowledge. You're not learning jack shit from them. If you are emotionally neglected and they're not expressing that they're proud of you, care about you, appreciate you, and you feel emotionally neglected. If you feel psychologically neglected, like they could be hanging out with you, but they're choosing outright not to, like they have time to spend with you and choose to spend it elsewhere, and you're feeling neglected. I have to ask you in the divine mirror of things how you are neglecting yourself. Capital S. Neglecting your higher self. The King of Coins is a card about creation and initiative. The King of Coins doesn't follow orders and directions like a knight. They're not given free passes like a page, because a page is a child. This is a King of Coin. He gives orders. He creates what happens. King of Coins energy with this, you got to understand that you have choices. You can choose to wallow in the fact that someone is not paying any attention to you and they're neglecting you or whatever, or you can choose yourself to nurture the reality and have faith that it will in fact get better. If someone could be spending time with you and they're choosing to do something else that is so fucking stupid to you, it might just straight up be stupid to them and they're just blowing time because they're not thinking about it. Go out and spend some time with them then. You might straight up lose a King of Coins, right? There's a possibility that you could lose a King of Coins type personality, someone who chooses to manifest for you, to create for you, to give to you. And you straight up lost them because you neglected them. You weren't showing them any emotional support, emotional gratitude, letting them know that you appreciate them. You might have lost a King of Coins who was teaching you things and was open to spending time with you and learning with you or whatever. Like, there's a good chance in February, especially if you're dealing with the moon card's energy, your own shadow, and you're listening to fear, and you're listening to doubt, and you're worrying, and you're having anxiety, and you're freaking out over nothing. Over nothing. I'm hearing that so clear in my head. You are freaking out over nothing or holding on to worry for nothing. Holding on to fear for nothing. Holding on to the what ifs for nothing. Fear, whatever it is driving you into a hole. Maybe you're afraid of being loved and you don't even realize how your own behavior is perceived by other people and is repulsive or pushes them away. Can you or can you not have faith that when you nurture your higher self, your better self, that you could be a better version of yourself, that you create a better reality where you don't feel neglected? Follow the golden rule. The Empress card with the star card, follow the golden rule. If you don't like being neglected by someone, don't neglect them. If you don't like someone getting harsh with you or short with you, don't get angry and harsh with other people. If you don't like it when other people invade your space or mess up your routine, or if they don't meet your expectations, then don't do that to other people. Respect their space. Respect their expectations. Either you can meet them or you can't. But show their expectations some respect. Make your best effort, because you would appreciate it if someone made their best efforts for you, whether they could or couldn't fulfill it perfectly. You would still want someone to do their best. This is a big deal for February, understanding how grossly different this light and shadow is. Because you're either receiving beautiful energy because you've got beautiful energy going out, or you are losing providers. Or you're losing providers. And it might be because you're neglecting yourself. Not that they aren't meant to be lost. You might be meant to lose them because they are preventing you from finding yourself. Everything that happens is for a reason. And the universe is healing everything regardless and giving you exactly what you deserve to receive. There's just the easy way that feels better, and then there's the harder way that fucking hurts while you go through it. You know, you could take the shortcuts, the quote-unquote shortcuts through the thorn patches to get to where you're going. Or you can go the extra mile to avoid the thorny patches and get to the same destination just fine. It's much easier to go the extra mile than it would be to painfully walk through the shortcut of the thorn patch. You're longing for something, Aquarius, with the Four of Cups. You're longing for someone to provide 3D world, human reality things, experiences for you. But you're not creating them for yourself. You want other people to create it for you, but you're not creating it for yourself. That's February. And like I said, it has to do with your childhood wounding. Where did you learn in your childhood that if you want something, someone else has to provide it for you? That you can provide for you what you want? I don't care if it's financial, mental, emotional, physical, psychological. I don't care. Spiritual, it doesn't matter. If you want it, why can't you create it yourself? Why can't you give it to yourself? Where did you learn that someone else has to give it to you and that you can't initiate? Why can't you initiate? Who taught you that you had to wait for someone else to initiate and give to you? Give it to yourself. Give yourself the experience that you want. Create it, nurture it, have faith that it'll work out when you put your best self forward and you go the extra mile for people that are worth it. Because they provide for you. In one of those different energetic currencies, whether it's financial, mental, emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual. Like, you are the creator of your own experience. If you feel like shit, like, you're creating it. You're choosing to continue to create it because your actions aren't changing. You want a better reality, change your actions to be better. If you're fucking bored, go choose something that helps you feel busy. You don't know what to do, go meditate. Go out in nature, get some fresh air. Bring a tablet of paper with you and a pencil so that you can write things or fucking doodle. See where your thoughts go. Who are you thinking about when you're out in nature and you're bored? Who are you thinking about? What are the thoughts you're having about them? Where is your relationship dynamic with them? What's unhealed in your own perspective in regards to them? Start asking yourself questions so that you can understand what's going on in your subconscious mind. Because every thought that goes unexpressed is subconscious. Start figuring yourself out. What feelings are you thinking about the most? Because that's what you got to work on. Either healing or creating. Because if you're thinking about beautiful feeling experiences and joy and happiness and safety and peace, well, then you got to create it. And if you're thinking about fear or worry or longing or whatever, then you got to heal it. You got to heal your own perspective. Someone else isn't going to heal it for you. You got to do that yourself. That's February. For March, your milestone is the Death card, the duality being transition versus resistance. And we've got the Emperor, the Eight of Coins, and the Queen of Cups. You could be dealing with scorpionic energy, whether in someone else or in your chart. You could also be dealing with the South Node fresh in Scorpio, okay? Because It's going to be there for a while. But this is about transition versus resistance. How willing are you to evolve? How willing are you to evolve? Because the Emperor, the Eight of Coins, and the Queen of Cups, you've got to be able to take charge and be the master of yourself and the choices that you make. You've got to own your choices and make the effort to be the Queen of Cups. To be compassionate. To own your emotions. To intuitively sense things and feel good about your choices. Because you didn't go against your intuition. You followed it. If you have to make excuses for something, you are not in alignment. I will give you a great example. Let's just say for a moment, let's assume you're married, right? You might not be, that's fine. Take this analogy how it resonates for you. You're married, but you don't actually like being with your partner. And someone says, well, why don't you leave them? And you say, well, you know, we are married, we have kids together, we have bills together, we have this together and that together, and you're spouting off a list of reasons why you're with them. Well, that's logic. What does your intuition say? See, because all of the reasons you listed wasn't because I know I'm meant to be with them. I feel it in my heart. This is where I'm meant to be right now. And I don't understand exactly why I'm here, but I trust my gut. I know this is where I'm meant to be right now. Because if you trust your intuition and your intuition is telling you to stay, you're not actually upset. You know there's something that you're learning and it might be uncomfortable, but you're not upset. But unless your soul is telling you that this is absolutely where you have to be right now above all other places, if your soul's not telling you that, this is where you're meant to be, this is what you're meant, this is everything that feels right, it feels right, it feels right to stay, it feels right to stay. It feels good to stay. It feels good to choose to stay, it feels good. That's why I'm married to them. Because it feels good whenever I choose to stay. Whenever I wake up here every day, it feels good. I'm meant to be here. It feels good. Because if you're making excuses for why you're staying and you fucking feel miserable, or you're stressed out, or you're frustrated, or you hate blah, 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 and you have a million reasons to stay and not one of them is because it feels good, then you are misaligned. You should probably really strongly consider setting yourself free of a karmic bond. It's karmic as fuck. You put yourself in jail. It's called a suffering cage. You can love someone and not love your experience with them. Because you could do what you do because you love them, because you love them, because you love them. But if you're not loving your experience with them, then you're not loving yourself. That's a reflection of how you don't love yourself. This is something that I went over during the full moon in Cancer, secret code name Peas in a Pod. You got to watch it if you want more about that energy, because I expressed it pretty darn clearly. You can love someone, but not love your experience with them. And loving your experience with them is a direct reflection of how much you love yourself. So how much do you hate your experience? That's the question. Because if you hate your experience, hate your life, even if 10% of it is great, you hate the other 90%. Well, that is a direct reflection of how much you hate yourself. You like your choices and self, capital S, approve about 10% of the time. And everything else you're creating with your choices is bullshit. This is about owning your Emperor energy, making a proper effort to love yourself and your life more, to nurture. Queen of Cups is very close to Empress energy in that regard, and it's intuitive. You know if you are meant to be somewhere else because you have this feeling inside yourself of anywhere but here. Anywhere but here. Even if it's not a hateful reality. Maybe you've got a wonderful house in your marriage. Maybe you drive a nice car, but you would still rather be anywhere but there. And that house and that car are just excuses and reasons for you to not love yourself more. That's all it is. They're just excuses and reasons to stay in a situation that you do not love yourself in. Think about that. Do you transition into the new reality where that you can love yourself, or at least learn to? Or do you resist and continue in excuses? No, Spirit, I don't want to be a butterfly. I want to stay a big pile of mushy gook inside this chrysalis. I don't even want to be a caterpillar. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to remain a squishy, gushy mess of yuck inside this chrysalis, and I don't ever want to come out and be a butterfly and fly. I just want to stay mush. Like, come on. I want to be miserable and never experience anything until I die. Until I die in this chrysalis. Like, let's get real, Aqua. If you're in your light, you're in your light. I'm more talking to the people in fucking shadow right now. To be completely fucking fair. If you feel like you're an Aquarius energy who is really in alignment with the self and loves your life, go watch your rising sign. Don't even watch the rest of this forecast. Because this is for people who need to understand their shadow, to be completely fair. If you feel like you're in your light and you love your life and you love your choices, go watch your rising sign. This is for Aquarius that need help because they're dealing with their shadow and they've got choices to make. This is March's energy, Aqua. You're either going to continue to morph and transition or you're going to resist. You got to learn how to love yourself more and own your reality and the efforts where you put your efforts. Do you put your efforts into a reality that you don't love, or are you putting your efforts into a reality that you do? That's March. Now for April, your milestone card is a Holy Arcana specific to this deck. And its duality is pray versus trust. It came up in the reverse. Comes out with the 5 of Wands, the Ace of Coins, and the 7 of Swords. I'm going to read this to you from the book because the way is specific to this deck. So I'm going to read it to you. It says, the way can only truly be understood when experienced in relationships. For no matter how we attempt to indicate a concept, what we are indicating cannot possibly encompass the true spirit of said concept. On the Tree of Life, this card connects with Ain, the eternal vacuum of spirit. Ain is the nothingness from which the concept of infinity emerges, describing that all things originate from and dissolve back into nothingness. This may seem like a blessing and a curse, but it is simply the way we came to be and the way we are going. In Hebrew, it is often called the atzmut, the essence. The appearance of the way in a reading has one meaning that can be interpreted in various ways. The highest principle is that it is a card of complete trust and faith in that which is beyond our ability to comprehend. In this, we have to surrender to the flow that moves through us. We know the way. The upright key on the card suggests the act of prayer is the purest method to tap into the natural flow and open a channel with the divine. Through prayer, a space of silence is created, so the subtlest of notions from spirit may come through. Reversed. This card speaks to the state we must embody before and after prayer. Complete and total trust. A deep level of trust that indicates a true experience of knowing that no matter what, we are one with spirit and we are going to get to where we need to go. Aqua. In the upright, this card shows a bright light of spirit with the sacred geometry of the flower in between that spiritual light and the earth being on the bottom. In the reverse, the earth is upside down and above the light of spirit. You are putting too much focus on your human egoic wants and desires. You're being too specific. You're being too specific. You could say, well, I want to be with this person. I want this marriage to work out. I want this job to work out. I want this and that to work out. The only thing you have control of working out is yourself, okay? So if you're praying for people or whatever the fuck you're praying for, the lottery, I don't know. Whatever you pray for. I want my marriage to get better. Well, how do you know it's in the highest good? There is a question. How do you know what you're praying for is in the highest good? Because either you just had immediately one of two answers. Either you immediately responded because I know it's meant for me. I know it in my soul. I trust it in my soul. Or you stopped to question yourself. I said, how do you know that what you're praying for is actually in the highest good? And if you paused and thought for a minute and be like, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's in the highest good. Then can you accept that maybe, just maybe, if you don't know what's in the highest good, that you should just simply start praying for the highest good instead of specifics? Because you ain't reached the level of trusting your prayers yet. You've got to go back to nothing. The beauty of nothingness from which everything comes and everything returns. If you don't know what the highest good is, if you really don't know, then just simply pray for the highest good of all, yourself included. Spirit, I have no other prayer. I don't know what my life is meant to be. I don't know who I'm meant to be with. I don't know what job I'm meant to have. I don't know how much money is meant to come into my life. I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. But damn it, I'm praying for the highest good. And I trust you. Whatever that looks like, Spirit. Whatever the highest good looks like, I'm praying for it. I don't know what it is. But if it's in the highest good, so be it. Pray. You can say, well, Spirit knows what I really want. Spirit knows I just want to be happy. Spirit knows this and knows that. And you're not wrong. Spirit does know what you want. It does know what you desire. It also needs to know that you acknowledge what it is that you want and desire. Because if you're praying for things and you don't know if they're in the highest good, then you're not actually in desire of the highest good. Spirit needs you to acknowledge what you actually want. Do you want your earthly, egoic desire, or do you want the highest good that is your spirit, your soul being at peace and happy and joyful and purpose-filled? What do you actually want? Because trust me, Spirit will give it to you, only for you to find out it's not what you actually want. It's not what you actually want. You will always get what you pray for. You will. Because that's where your intention and your willpower is going. And it might be a bitch to create, but you'll get it. And then after all the effort you put into getting it, hell if you give it up. But if it ain't meant for you, that's called karma. You will suffer that out. This isn't about trusting that what you want will come to you. This is about trusting what you pray for. And if you don't trust what you pray for the highest good of all. Because we've got 5 of Wands, Ace of Coins, and 7 of Swords. This is an internal conflict over a foundation. This is an internal conflict over beginning and or continuing down a path. And robbing yourself, lying to yourself with the 7 of Swords. What are you praying for? To fix, heal, mend, repair, be created. What are you praying for that's not in your highest good? Because whatever it is, you're robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself. You've got a beautiful opportunity in April to look for a new path, a new direction within the self. You can uproot your whole fucking life and move from New York to California and back again. But your energy is your energy. You got to not be conflicted with what you're praying for. And you most certainly can't trust that Spirit won't answer. You trust the fact that your angels don't answer. They never answer, blah, blah, blah. No, they give you exactly what you pray for. You just might be going about it, perceiving it the wrong way. Let's just say you are in a troubled marriage and you're praying that your marriage heals. All universe hears is marriage and heals. So yeah, you're in your marriage, prayer answered. And you're both healing. Congratulations. Now, if you said, Spirit, I want to be happy. I want to be in a happy marriage. Either with my partner or someone else, but I want a happy marriage. I don't want to be in a marriage that's unhappy. Well, happiness is a highest good thing. You're not praying for something specific with a specific person, to be a certain way if it's not meant to. Like I said, if you don't trust what you're praying for, then simply just pray for the highest good of all. Simply pray to be happy and take the specifics out of it. You're being too specific. Because you're internally conflicted. What you're dealing with and what you have is 2 different things. What you ideally want and what you have are 2 different things. And you might wake up, all right, every day is a brand new day and go to bed super positive, but at the end of the day, you're robbing yourself. You feel robbed at the end of the day. Come on, Aqua. Trust what you pray for. Don't just trust that Spirit hears your needs and desires. Spirit wants to know that you trust what you're praying for. That's going to be your big thing for April. For May, we have the Aeon, which is the Judgment card. Advancement versus regression. Comes out with the 8 of Wands in reverse, the Devil, and the 10 of Swords. Now, Aqua, I love you. And I know how stubborn you can be as a fixed sign. But my Aqua placements consist of Jupiter. I bring nothing but blessings and higher perspective. And I love you too much to stop reading for you. Just because you're stubborn. I love you enough to shake the shit out of you. I love you enough to shake the shit out of you. Because somebody's got to truth you to death. I come with blessings. If you're willing to listen. The Aeon card is your milestone, advancement versus regression. You're either coming out stronger than you ever were before, more beautiful and motivated in yourself, leaving a healing ripple wherever you go, because you're a healed person. Or you are regressing in your stubbornness to see the divine mirror of things that I expressed at the beginning of the year. Then you have failed to follow the golden rule and make it a lifestyle. It is a way of life. The Eight of Wands in the reverse with the Devil and the Ten of Swords. Like, there is no other way for me to express what these cards represent other than you are not fucking heeding your higher self. You are not listening to yourself. You are ripping and letting it go. Shadow frenzy. You are not looking at the synchronicities. You're not looking at numerology. You're not looking at animal spirit guardians crossing your path and looking them up. What, because you fucking know it all, Aqua? What, you think you know it all and it's all bogus? Hocus pocus, woo-woo shit? You are not listening to your intuition. You are not listening to your spirit. You are in full-blown denial and acting like spirit ain't fucking there. Well, what happens when you believe spirit ain't fucking there and you ain't listening to your highest self? What happens? You're in full-blown low mode. Low vibrations. You are in the devil's domain, betraying yourself. Getting betrayed by life, betrayed by experience, betrayed by people, betrayed by every other fucking thing. But, you know, Aqua won't take blame. It's not their fault. It has nothing to do with Aqua's energy. I hope you Aquarians tuning back in for May. Remember that if I told you you trusted yourself and your energy and you loved your life, to watch your rising sign, because this forecast is not for you. You should be watching your rising sign. This is for Aquas who don't know how to take advice and apply it. Aquas who think they know best. You're stubborn as fuck, Aqua. I love you, but you stubborn as shit, and you think you're right all the time. And then don't understand why shit hits the fucking fan. Shit's hitting the fan because you took your higher self and said, I don't want to listen, and threw your higher self in the fan. With all the shit. You might hit a serious low of lows this month, Aqua, for May. Given Aquarius is dealing with Saturn in its sign. Saturn. Jupiter isn't there in Aquarius anymore in the current day astrology. Matter of fact, it's moving into Aries in May. Jupiter will be sextiling on Aquarian energy, helping it out from the sign of Aries. Oh, you gonna get pissed, Aqua. You're gonna get frustrated as shit before you wake up and do better. You're going to see the higher perspective one way or another, even if Spirit has to fucking put itself back together after being thrown through the fan and drag your fucking ass to the higher perspective. Spirit ain't going to quit on you just because you quit on Spirit. We got to have that conversation. Spirit doesn't quit on you. You quit on your spirit. May, if you got a shit show, it's because you're fucking stubborn and you're expecting everybody else to change except you. And you want to blame everybody else except you. And you don't want to listen to the signs and the things, and you want to know, and you want to think you're right. You don't want to take the advice. You don't want to remember that you have guardians out there. Energetic guardians that love you. Hell, you might tune me the fuck out. Tell me I'm just this and I'm just that and I'm so negative and blah, 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 blah. I told y'all if you didn't resonate with this to go watch your rising, especially if you trust yourself. And if you know me, you know I'm fucking right. I've been doing this shit way too fucking long, and in the over 2 decades that I've been doing this stuff, ain't nobody ever looked back in hindsight and told me I was wrong. No one. So you go ahead and be stubborn if you want. Spirit's gonna fucking drag your ass. It's gonna drag your ass to that higher perspective if it has to. Trust me when I tell you. You got inner work to do. Do your inner work. Look in your mirror. Look in your mirror. You can be pissed and hate the whole fucking world, and all that's a mirror of is how much you are pissed at yourself and hate yourself. The self you're choosing to be. Because it could be 100 times better. You could choose 100 times better. There is an infinite number of choices you could make, and you are insistent on choosing like the worst fucking ones. Spirit will drag you. This 10 of Swords, it's self-betrayal. Self-betrayal inside the own mind. You are dancing with the devil. With your thoughts, your choices that come from your thoughts, and your actions that come from your choices. Your thoughts become choices, become actions, become behavior patterns, become your character. Fuck, if ain't nobody else telling you, I have to. Or we wouldn't be having this conversation in divine time, because I'm recording this shit right now in January. I love you, Aqua. My love and support is with you, Aqua. That's May. For June, and thank God, your milestone card is a holy arcana called the Light, and it came up in the upright. It's clarified by the 9 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Now the Light card says, the light represents the formless, shapeless, unknowable, and undefinable source from which the entire tree of life emerges. It is beyond comprehension and serves as a reminder that no matter what we think we know nothing at all. When drawing the light in a reading, it speaks to the revealing and illuminating of something that is hidden. This is a total illumination, a lifting of the veil in order to vividly clarify something previously murky or confusing. Further, this is the creative light, so it describes that this illuminating power may encompass a new illuminating solution as well. This creative power is infinite and is a reminder that Spirit is always with you. It is the understanding. Reveal versus conceal is the duality. It is the embodiment of the understanding that for how much we think we know absolutely nothing. It's a humbling energy. No matter how much we think we know nothing. And you can reveal your light and let it shine, or you can conceal it and hide it away and have May and every other fucking month before this reoccur. But you're seeing the truth of the reality differently. I promise you are probably seeing the mirror differently, especially if I did shake the shit out of you last month. Because no sooner than you see the light, you realize that wishes can come true. The 9 of Cups is a wish granted. And it's only after you see the light, become the light, choose the light as a way of life. And there is loving communications going out, loving communications going in with the Knight of Cups, and a ton of inspiration and energy with the Knight of Wands. The higher version of you has made an appearance. The light in you, after being in the fucking pitch-ass black darkness, has bust through the fucking shadow. Let there be light. Thank God, Aqua, because if I had to be hard on you one more fucking month in a row, I was going to start seriously fucking praying. Like, literally stop recording and just take a moment to pray. Like, Aqua needs some fucking miracles. But miracles and miracle mindset happens because you believe in miracles and that you are also the creator of them. If you're asking for a miracle from out there, you ain't getting it. Miracles come from within the self. And I think your miracle energy inside the self just completely came forward, because if you prayed for a miracle, the only answer that Spirit could give you to answer your prayer is to create the miracle within yourself first. If you prayed for a miracle in your life, it has to start from within the self. And so Spirit gave you a miracle. You had a goddamn breakthrough in June. A fucking breakthrough. You might just be starting to see as I see. You might be starting to see as Spirit sees. Spirit, capital S. Your highest self. And there is a lot of communication and a lot of positivity coming from it. You could probably expect emotional outpours, vulnerability, honesty, passion, purpose. Like Spirit came back and showed up in June. Not because Spirit was gone, but because you had buried it. Spirit is back. It didn't really go anywhere except where you put it. So June is looking like a much more positive month. Much more positive month. For July, your milestone is the High Priestess. The duality is intuition versus doubt. Comes out with the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Seven of Coins. Intuition versus doubt. Do you trust your intuition and the way it's guiding you, that you're able to discern? You might not know why you're not meant to do something or why you're not meant to answer something, but you don't do it and you don't answer if you're not guided to. It's got to check off and make sense to your soul that it feels good to do it, because if it doesn't feel good and there is even 1% of hesitation, like 99% is not 100, something's off. Wait for the moment it feels like 100. Trusting your intuition. Or are you doubting yourself and making excuses, right? Going back to that old energy. Eight of Cups in this particular deck shows a feminine energy on brand new and barren shores, standing in front of a lake. And on the other side of the lake is where she came from, and it's a forest completely on fire. There is a huge plume of dark smoke going up into the sky because she had to walk away from what was unfulfilling. The heart space has to move on and let go of what is truly unfulfilling. 99% is not 100. If it is lacking in 1%, then it is truly unfulfilling, because it is either fulfilling or it's not. The Knight of Cups, I feel as though this energy is actually very vulnerable. I feel like you're getting really real and honest, Aqua, with certain people. And I think you're very well aware that any moves that you want to make, you can't necessarily do right this minute with the Seven of Coins. It's not necessarily the right timing to take certain actions. You can research, you can look into things, you can take, preparatory steps, but the actual step that you're looking to make, I don't think you can make right this moment. Not this month. Because the Seven of Coins is about knowing that there's more time that's needed, but not necessarily any work to be done. It's just nature taking its course, or divine time aligning and doing its thing. You have to have trust and faith and wait in Spirit's time to get everything ready. That it would be the right time and the right alignment. The Seven of Coins understands that no matter how beautiful the flowers are on the tree, they have to wither away in order for the fruit to grow. And when the flower withers and the fruit is going, you can't harvest it yet. They're not ready. It takes time. You were the flower. You've gone through the withering. And now the fruit of you is starting to form, but it's not quite ready to be utilized in the reality yet. Spirit's making sure you get some more nutrition, you have the time to grow a little bit and fully mature in your new form as the fruit. Spirit's going to take you from a hurt person hurting people to a healed person healing people. Well, it's got to check a couple things off the checklist to make sure you're edible. That humanity can consume you and not get sick. Hope that makes sense. Continue to follow your intuition, trust your gut. You don't have to know why. All you know is if you're making excuses or finding reasons, it's already misaligned. It's already misaligned. You learned this already. So don't forget what you've learned. Apply the knowledge of what you've learned. That's July. All right, so for August, your milestone is the Tower. The duality is revelation versus ignorance. Comes out with the Five of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Fool. Now, revelation is very similar in energy to the Light card. You may realize some things about yourself that you weren't previously noticing, that I feel like someone else definitely noticed, whoever this King of Cups is. Whether you're not the same shy, charming, kind person that they fell in love with anymore. Maybe you're a very vibrant, bold, social, semi-aggressive type personality now. That's okay. That's who you are. That's okay. But it might not be who they fell in love with, and they might not necessarily love the new you. Might not be their favorite flavor. Like, you might be giving them Mocha Boca Crunch Fudge Swirl ice cream and they just kind of wanted plain chocolate. They're not in the mood for all the fancy. That's just the kind of person they are. I'm sure there's someone out there who absolutely loves and adores Mocha Boca Chocolate Fudgy Swirl whatever. Who the last thing they want is chocolate. Which is great. But you might be realizing just how much you've shifted. What you're going to have to be wary of is not focusing on the loss of whatever or whoever it is. Not focusing on the loss. The loss of them is tied to the loss of your old version who was truly unhappy. You were unhappy. That's why you let that part of yourself go. That's why you morphed. Maybe you just have to accept the fact that, especially if it's coming from someone who isn't typically emotionally expressive, that they're expressing their emotions, it matters to them. You might actually want to consider integration, that maybe you've gone too far away from the positive things that this person fell in love with. Not that you can't be the new things that you have fallen in love with, but that they need to be integrated. That you don't have to lose one to get the other. It's not the light you're trying to get rid of, it's just a shadow. Take a leap of faith, the Fool card, on yourself. And the light in yourself, all of yourself. We have light in every past version that we don't actually want to get rid of. And to be fair, if it's light, shouldn't have to get rid of it. We don't need to. You can keep all your light attributes as you discover new ones. You understand? You don't have to lose all of your beautiful light attributes from past versions of yourself. You're just learning through each new version of you what the new light attributes are that you didn't have before to integrate with them. Like, let's just say you used to be a very shy and reserved person and spent a lot of time at home and kept a wonderfully clean house and cooked dinners all the time, and you were wonderful like that. But you weren't happy because you felt boxed in your home or whatever. And so you found this beautiful, lively version of yourself that goes out and meets people and is funny and laughs and dances and you love all these things. But your house went to shit and you stopped cooking dinner. But you liked being at home sometimes, and you liked a clean house, and you liked dinner being made. You liked cooking it. So how can you integrate the two without being in a realm of extremes? How can you set up time, place? Time for being at home and doing your thing and catching up on your housework and, cooking the meals that you enjoy, saving money that you enjoy, and still being able to catch up with friends on this day or that day of this week or this month. Because you don't got to party hard every day. You don't even got to party hard every weekend. Like, just because you miss one weekend doesn't mean you're going to miss every weekend. It just means sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Sometimes your light is calling for a certain alignment out of you. Trust your alignments, right? How can you be emotionally mature receiving the feelings of others in the month of August? How can you take a leap of faith on all of your light being beautiful, that all of your light can be loved? And not focus on the losses. Because if you're focusing on the losses, then you're focusing on the shadow. That's the only thing truly ever being shed or lost. Where light exists, shadow cannot. So as your light grows, the shadow becomes less and less and less. Until it's just light. So I hope that helps you understand August. Here we go, Aqua. September. For September, your milestone, again, we have the Aeon. The duality is advancement versus regression. It comes out with the 9 of coin, Temperance, and the Star. This is what I'm talking about. This integration energy, this temperance energy, this alchemist integrating of the abundant self, the light self, that you like what you see in the mirror with the 9 of coins. This is the healing I was talking about with the Star card. This is the healing. This is the you that comes back stronger than before. This is the you, the real you, the best you, the spirit, light you that rises, that's alchemized and golden, living by that golden rule, treating people how you want to be treated, including yourself, that you treat you the way you want to be treated. This is about you bringing things up from the past to heal with the Judgment card. This is a resurrection of old wounds that need healing, that you are now capable of bringing healing to and receiving healing from. You're finally very much feeling, I'm feeling the ready. I'm feeling the ready for better, the ready for positive relations, harmony between you and other people, understandings, mending. I'm feeling mending. Because you're mending yourself. You're successfully going through the mending of self process. You are integrating your light attributes and not leaving them behind. You're telling your shadow to go fuck off, get dim, disappear. You're healing. Let this be a confirmation or affirmation from Spirit that it is always, in fact, with you. Every little bit of your light is with you all the time. You're just going through experiences, discovering more of it. More light to integrate into yourself, to be bigger, more radiant energy. That people love being around you, that you love being in your own energy. That you enjoy your life. This is that kind of month where you can actually advance on your journey instead of regressing. Like, the butterfly is not going to rip its wings off and try and be a caterpillar again so it can go back in the chrysalis. You know what I mean? The butterfly is loving flexing its wings and being beautiful and being admired. Hell, it likes looking at its own reflection. You're not the old version of self wondering who the hell you are and not liking what you look at in the mirror. Energy-wise. You're looking in the mirror now and loving your energy and feeling your own abundance, your own healing power. You're seeing the future that you want to create and knowing that your healing is what's creating it. Your healing is what's bringing it into form. September is definitely an energetic step forward. It's emerging. Emerging and emerging. Very positive energy for September. All right, Aqua. So for October, your milestone is the Lover's card. The duality is marriage versus divorce. Comes out with the Two of Wands, the Ten of Wands clarified by the Ace of Swords, and the Princess of Cups clarified by the Nine of Swords. Okay? So listen. In the light of marriage, if you absolutely love who you are 100%, then you are absolutely, in the month of October, committing to who you are and marrying it. Marrying who you are because you love who you are. And you wouldn't change who you are and what you create for anything. Or in the shadow. And when I say love who you are, I do mean spirit, capital S. Or you are going through the shadow. The shadow of it is the divorce, which is the separation in the self, which manifests the separation in your outer experience. It could be separation from a divine counterpart. It could be feeling like you don't belong anywhere. Marriage versus divorce is loving who you are and loving your reality and committing to it wholeheartedly, that you would move forward with yourself in this manner. Or you are absolutely dealing with the separation, right? With the duality of this energy. Now, the Two of Wands is about premonition and or self-fulfilling prophecy. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. If you see yourself in the mirror, happy and in love with your energy and your reality, what you see is what you get. If you are not happy when you look in the mirror and you don't like your energy, well, in the reality, what you see is what you get. Everything mirrors from the self. Understand with the Ten of Wands and the Ace of Swords that there is some kind of soul burden here who feels as if possibly that you can't handle or carry the truth. That the truth is too much for you to carry. The fact of the matter is, your truth is how you hit the bullseye every time. And all of your experiences, like, you don't have to worry about any of them repeating anymore, the negative ones. You've learned from each of them that they have become an arrow in your quiver. And anytime you need to hit the bullseye, you can call on the lessons that your soul has learned from those experiences and fucking nail it. That you can choose to visualize better and act better. Because if your thoughts are negative or worrisome or fearful, thoughts become choices, become actions. But if you choose to visualize positive outcomes, if you choose to see the best possible scenario in your mind despite reality, your positive thoughts become positive choices, become positive actions that are positive behavior and form positive character. The impression you make on the world, or the worlds that you touch, whoever's world it is positive. It's all positive. Don't be afraid of the truth. You've learned from experience for a reason. You've been through those mirrors. You've been through those lessons, and you are not fucking stupid. You're not stupid. You see a red flag, you're seeing a red flag for a reason. You've been there, done that with that lesson. Been there, done that. And that's when you got to pull out that Princess of Cups clarified by the Nine of Swords and be like, I'm sorry, not sorry. But to go down that road would be a fucking nightmare. Like, you're not a terrible person, but I've seen the way the story plays out. I don't need to prove it all over again. I don't need to prove it all over again. Someone might legit want a commitment from you. And whatever you're seeing in your mind's eye, well, you can trust that's probably how it's going to end up. Because until someone is saying something or offering you something or promising something or committing to something that in your mind, the gut response to visualize is something beautiful, that you know it's finally what you want. If you're getting hit with worst case scenarios in your mind as they're talking to you, that prophecy will fulfill. With the current alignment, the alignment would have to shift first. Like, sorry, not sorry, I'm not reliving a nightmare. Nothing against you personally. Sure, you're not a bad person. But I've been there, done that dance with these wounds. The truth might be you're happier doing your own thing, being married to yourself than married to another. You might just love loving who you are too much to risk changing it for someone else. Maybe you don't want their expectations because you've met your own. Take it how it resonates. But I feel like this is you being absolutely married and committed to you, and I don't think you're willing this month to risk feeling sorry for yourself because you chose something that took you away from the version of you that you fell in love with and married. That's October. For November, our milestones, we've got the Devil and the Star. This is faith and desire versus addiction to despair. The month of November. Faith in what you desire or addiction to despair comes out with the Queen of Coins, the Chariot, and the Nine of Wands. Aquarian energy. Whatever it is that you really want, what you really want. And we talked about, if you don't know and trust what you want, that you can pray for the highest good, right? But if you know what you want, that it's meant for you in soul and you just fucking know it, but maybe the timing is not quite perfect yet, because 99% is not 100. Can you have faith in your desire without being addicted to the despair? That you would try and take it early because you don't know if there will be another opportunity. Let me ask you this. If something's meant for you and it's so fucking beautiful at 100% in your mind's eye, why the fuck would Spirit present it to you at 99% unless it was testing your addiction to despair? Think about that. We got the Queen of Coin here. This is knowing what you are deserving of receiving in the reality. The Chariot is knowing that people are crossing your path for a reason, but not necessarily because you're meant to be looking in their direction as far as the path right this second. People cross your path when they need your energy. When you are a factor or a critical piece of the healing. But just because a ride goes by doesn't mean you got to take it. You still got to do as you're guided. You still got to listen to your intuition. You still got to love and nurture yourself and have healthy boundaries. Because you refuse to go back to being a victim of experience. You are not addicted to despair. Not anymore. I mean, who the fuck is scratching and itching at the seams saying, Spirit, please, 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 I need more despair. Give me more despair. Please, Spirit. Nobody. I want to feel like shit, Spirit, please. Like, no one. So now that you've gotten a taste of 99%, Spirit wants to make sure you're in it for 100. So it is absolutely tempting you. Mark my words, it's tempting you in November. You might have someone give you a solid offer. But it might not be the right time to give them a solid answer. They might have asked you a solid question in regards to a solid offer, but that does not mean it is the right time to give a solid answer. Because if you have any ounce of fear, just 1% nervousness, then you just need some time. You just need some time to work it out so that you can have a definitive yes or a definitive no. A definitive in or a definitive out. At least for the time. It's got to be 100% feels right, because if it's not a fuck yeah, it's a fuck no. Not now. If it's not a fuck yeah, it is a fuck no. Not now. You can wait, and so can they, until it's a fuck yeah. Because if it's not a fuck yeah, what the fuck you doing? Well, let's fingers crossed risk it. Like, I'm sorry, before I jump out of a plane, I would like to know 100% that my parachute is functioning. I would not like there to be a 1% risk of it not going off. I would like it thoroughly checked to what absolutely qualifies as acceptable, and then check it one more time just in case. So I could feel 100% great about jumping out the fucking plane. You know what I mean? Fuck it, let's jump out the plane, and if I splat on the fucking ground and die, who cares? Like, who says that? No one. If it's not a fuck yeah, it's a fuck no. Remember that for November. It's got to be a fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I feel like taking a nap. Fuck yeah, I feel like answering my phone. Fuck yeah, I love my job. Fuck yeah, I love my dynamics with people. Fuck yeah, I love my hobbies. Fuck yeah, I love nature. Like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, or it's a fuck no. If you gotta make reasons or excuses for it, don't fucking do it. If you gotta cross your fingers and hope is not faith. Beautiful word. I mean, beautiful name, but a bullshit word. Hope is a bullshit word. Beautiful name, bullshit word. Hope implies that you already know or sense that it could fail. Remember what you just learned about self-fulfilling prophecy. Have faith 100%. You're certain. Fuck yeah. This time is the right time. Or wait for it. That's November. All right, so for December, your last milestone of the year is, in fact, the Chariot. The duality is motion versus tension. It comes out with the Hermit card, the King of Coins, and the Nine of Wands. To be completely fair, there may be some tension between you, who is the individual and shining your light in the darkness of the world, healing wherever you go, bringing light wherever you go, and a provider energy. Because you understand, with the return of the Nine of Wands, that being a victim of your experience is not something that you care to do again. You may just move forward and provide for yourself, take care of yourself, and do your own thing. Because you're not ready yet. Maybe you need some more experiences. Maybe you need to have them learn some through more experiences. Sometimes the last 1%'s the hardest to get. It's just the one worth getting. It's what all the other 99% are for, to get the last percent, because that's the one that's actually fucking really worth it. Or you could be in a very tense state, depending if you're in the shadow of this duality, feeling like you have expectations on you. And maybe you feel with this King of Coin that there would be expectations on you, in which case there's a conversation that needs to be had and an understanding that needs to be reached. You know, if there was any chance at moving forward with the King of Coin, they better love you for exactly who you are, doing what you're doing as an individual with the Hermit, and not hold expectations of you, because if they hold expectations of you, they will be disappointed. They will absolutely be disappointed, and they will have to understand that. And it's not your fault if they're disappointed, because you fucking warned them. You are not the old version of yourself at the end of the year. You were a hurt person whose hurt was rippling at the beginning of the year. You're ending the year much more a healer, a light in the dark to help others see. So whatever's going on with the King of Coin, whoever they are, this provider, protector energy, they're going to have to know you are a free soul. And you will not meet the expectations of anyone outside of yourself. You will not be disappointed in yourself. You will not hold regret. You will not go against your gut, and if they don't fucking like it, they're with the wrong person. They ain't ready for you. They haven't reached your level. Because you will not go back to being a victim. You have way too much experience for that. Way too much. You are a victim of your own energy for too long to fuck up your energy now and go back to that. You are too aware. So for December, you are moving forward or dealing with very tense situations because you're resisting moving forward from a situation that is not at 100 yet. It's just not. Not yet. Not yet does not mean never. It means not yet. There ain't nothing wrong with waiting for the right time. Because if someone wants to take your beautiful healing light that is shining in the darkness early while they themselves are still in darkness, all you're going to do is shine light on their demons. And it's going to be very uncomfortable for them. The more that you fail their expectations and fail to meet their needs and they start judging you, it's going to start reflecting the judgments they have of themselves. It's going to start reflecting the different things and expectations that they have of themselves, capital S, it's not being held into its greatest light. It's not being held up to its highest standard. They're failing their own expectations of spirit, capital S. It's only going to bring up pain in them. To be fair, it's going to bring up pain in them with or without you. The question really is, do you want to experience it with them or do your own thing and not deal with it? Because they're going to heal either way. They're going to want what they can't have. They either want you and can't have you because they're not aligned yet, or they're going to have you but not have what they want from you because you're going to fail their expectations. Because fuck their expectations. Unless their expectations of you are the same expectations you have of yourself, they will be sourly disappointed. They're not getting what they want right now either way. Because if you give them what they want, their expectations, you're going to fail to meet your own. And if you fail to meet your own expectations, you're going to go right back into that 9 of Wands victim mentality. I can't take any more of this shit crap. Remember I said that for December. And move into 2023 with your new self. You will enjoy it much better. You can heal people whether you're in their reality or not. Because your physical presence is not required for them to heal anymore. Just knowing you is enough. Just the fact that they witnessed you and now you're in their mind and in their heart and in their soul is enough. You don't have to be in their physical reality to heal them. You're in their mind. And you're in their heart, and that is enough. You don't have to experience anything you don't want to. You can experience it the way you want to. To be completely frank, nothing else is acceptable or even tolerable. So, with that said, Aqua, this is Grace Nicole Myths signing out. I hope the insights have served you well. I hope the foresight serves you even better because you could skip all that bullshit at the beginning of the year if you want to listen in advance. And I hope the hindsight serves you just as nicely. That you were able to look back at previous months, no matter what month you're in, and have things make sense to what you were dealing with. So, until next time, guys, my love and support is with you always. Love each other, but most importantly, love yourself. Take care.